Have you ever stopped to question who you truly are? Beyond the labels, beyond the roles, beyond the physical body that you inhabit. Eckhart Tolle, in his insightful book A New Earth, invites us to do just that. He introduces the concept of body identification, the tendency to equate our sense of self with our physical form. We get so caught up in how we look, our weight, our hair, our perceived flaws. We allow these external factors to define our worth. This identification with the body, Tolle argues, is a trap. It's an illusion that keeps us from experiencing the fullness of who we truly are. Many people build their entire lives around their physical appearance. They chase after an elusive ideal of beauty, constantly comparing themselves to others. This relentless pursuit can lead to immense suffering. It can fuel anxieties, insecurities, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction with oneself. But what if we could break free from this limited perspective? What if we could learn to see ourselves beyond the confines of our physical form? From a very young age, we are bombarded with messages about how we should look. These messages come from various sources: family, peers, media, and society at large. Children are like sponges, absorbing these messages and internalizing them. Little girls, often adorned in pink and showered with compliments on their appearance, learn to associate their worth with their looks. Little boys, encouraged to be strong and athletic, may feel pressure to conform to a certain body image. These early experiences lay the foundation for how we view ourselves and others in relation to their bodies. As we grow older, these societal expectations become even more ingrained. We are constantly exposed to images of seemingly perfect bodies. These images, often digitally altered and unattainable, set unrealistic standards of beauty. We start to judge ourselves and others based on these fabricated ideals, perpetuating a cycle of insecurity and self-doubt. It's important to remember that these standards are often arbitrary and culturally driven. What is considered beautiful in one culture may not be in another, yet we allow these external influences to dictate how we feel about ourselves. The pursuit of beauty is a universal human experience. However, the definition of beauty varies widely across cultures. What is considered attractive in one part of the world might be seen as unremarkable or even undesirable in another. In some cultures, curves and a fuller figure are celebrated as symbols of health and fertility. In others, slenderness and a delicate frame are prized as epitomes of grace and elegance. Skin tone, facial features, and even height can be subject to cultural preferences and biases. Take, for example, the long necks of the Kayan women in Myanmar, elongated by brass rings. This practice, rooted in tradition and cultural aesthetics, stands in stark contrast to the Western ideal of a slender neck. Similarly, scarification, once a common practice in various parts of Africa, holds cultural significance that transcends Western notions of beauty. Understanding these diverse perspectives can help us challenge the narrow and often oppressive beauty standards that dominate our media and influence our perceptions. Western societies in particular are often criticized for their obsession with physical perfection. This obsession is fueled by a multi-billion-dollar beauty industry that profits from our insecurities. We are bombarded with images of airbrushed models and celebrities promoting the latest beauty products and procedures. This relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal can take a toll on our mental and emotional well-being. It can lead to body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and a constant sense of dissatisfaction with one's appearance. The pressure to conform to these unrealistic standards is especially acute for women. From a young age, girls are taught to value their appearance above all else. They are judged often harshly on their looks, their weight, their clothes. This objectification can have long-lasting consequences, impacting their self-esteem, their relationships, and even their career choices. It's time to challenge these harmful standards and embrace a more inclusive and compassionate definition of beauty. Section 5. Trapped in distortion, body image, and the mind's eye. Our perception of our bodies is not always accurate. Often, it is distorted by our own insecurities, past experiences, and the relentless messaging of the media. We may focus on perceived flaws, magnifying them in our minds, while overlooking our positive attributes. This distorted body image can lead to a range of mental health issues. People struggling with body dysmorphia, for example, may have a preoccupation with a specific body part, perceiving it as flawed or unattractive, even though it appears perfectly normal to others. The constant negative self-talk, the anxiety about one's appearance, and the compulsive behaviors aimed at fixing the perceived flaw can be all-consuming. It can interfere with daily life, relationships, and overall well-being. It's crucial to recognize that our bodies are not problems to be solved. They are vessels that carry us through life, capable of incredible things. Shifting our focus from self-criticism to self-acceptance can be a powerful step towards healing our relationship with our bodies. Section 6. Time's Toll, Aging and the Fragility of Physical Identity. As we age, our bodies inevitably change. Wrinkles appear, hair turns grey, and our bodies may not move with the same ease they once did. For those who have identified strongly with their physical appearance, aging can be a challenging experience. The loss of youthful beauty can trigger feelings of insecurity, grief, and even fear. The media often reinforces these anxieties, celebrating youth and perpetuating ageism. We are bombarded with images of wrinkle-free faces and toned bodies, sending the message that aging is something to be dreaded and fought against. However, aging is a natural and inevitable part of life. It's a privilege denied to many. Instead of fearing it, what if we could embrace it with grace and acceptance? What if we could see the beauty in the lines etched on our faces, each one telling a story of a life lived? True beauty, after all, is not about clinging to a youthful appearance. It's about embracing the journey of life, with all its imperfections and transformations. Section 7. Beyond imperfection, finding strength in acceptance. No one is perfect. We all have our imperfections, our scars, our perceived flaws. These imperfections are not something to be ashamed of. They are part of what makes us unique. Instead of striving for an unattainable ideal, what if we could learn to embrace our bodies as they are? What if we could celebrate our differences and recognize the beauty in diversity? This doesn't mean we can't strive to be our healthiest selves. We can still prioritize our physical well-being through exercise, healthy eating, and self-care. But it's about approaching these practices from a place of self-love and acceptance rather than self-criticism. When we make peace with our bodies, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to conform. We can start to focus on what truly matters: our values, our passions, our contributions to the world. Section 8. A new reflection, recognizing the true self beyond form. Eckhart Tolle invites us to look beyond the reflection in the mirror and connect with our true selves. This true self, he argues, is not limited to our physical form. It's the formless consciousness that resides within us, the awareness that witnesses our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. When we identify too strongly with our bodies, we limit our experience of life. We become trapped in a cycle of desire and aversion, constantly seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. We attach our sense of self-worth to external validation, seeking approval from others to feel good about ourselves. But what if our true value lies not in how we look, but in the depth of our being? What if our worthiness is not contingent upon our physical attributes, but inherent in our very existence? Section 9. Embracing the formless freedom from body identification. Transcending body identification is a journey, not a destination. It's about cultivating a new way of seeing ourselves and the world around us. It's about shifting our focus from the external to the internal, from the transient to the eternal. This doesn't mean we deny our bodies or treat them with disrespect. It simply means we recognize that our bodies are not all that we are. They are vessels that house our true selves, our essence, our spirit. When we can tap into this deeper dimension of ourselves, we experience a profound sense of freedom. We are no longer imprisoned by the judgments of others or the dictates of society. We are free to be who we truly are in all our messy, imperfect, and glorious humanity. This liberation allows us to experience life more fully. We can connect with others on a deeper level, appreciate the beauty around us more profoundly, and live with a greater sense of purpose and meaning. This is the true gift of transcending body identification, the realization that our true worth lies not in our appearance, but in the depths of our being.